From killing someone with a 100-mile-per-hour pitch, to excessive celebration, to even entire teams fighting on the field, these are the MLB's unwritten rules that every player seems to break. And when it comes to stealing bases or even scoring a home run, you'd think it'd be a good thing, right? Wrong. As it turns out, doing anything to run up the score when you're dominating the other team can result in getting hit by a 100-mile-per-hour pitch, or even the start of an all-out fight. Michael Jordan definitely learned this the hard way. See, after retiring from basketball back in 1996, Michael Jordan decided to try his hand at another sport, baseball. I mean, this man was in his prime, having just won 3 NBA finals in a row when he straight up decided he wanted to play another sport. At the time, Michael stated that he had just lost his passion for basketball and wanted to try something else. And as it turns out, Michael wasn't a stranger to baseball, having played it in his high school days, hitting a .433 in his junior season alone. But by far, Michael Jordan's best talent was his speed, which was almost unmatched in baseball. Michael managed to beat Joey Cora, the fastest player on the White Sox, in the 60-yard dash by a couple of feet, and again in the 100-yard dash. Being an elite athlete, Michael didn't want to just win in sports. He wanted to destroy his opponents and watch them crumble under the pressure. And it was obvious, as Michael would spend hours each day training to become the best baseball player he could. So when the Barons were up 11-0 in a game against the Chattanooga Lookouts, Michael took this opportunity to pump the score up even more, hitting a double and then proceeding to steal a base right after. And being Michael Jordan, nothing ever happened, with the Lookouts manager even laughing at the situation. But my man got to be more careful. He could have unintentionally started World War III. Anyways, after the game, Michael's manager let him know about the unwritten rule straight away, to which Michael replied that in the NBA, when you're up by 20, you try and get up by 30. And after a year of playing minor league baseball, Michael went on to play in the NBA again, and the rest is history. Now, at least Michael Jordan didn't purposefully break 2 unwritten rules, because that's exactly what Jose Bautista did. In the MLB, excessive celebration and especially bat flipping is a major no-no, because players see this as an act of blatant disrespect, which can result in a fastball coming your way the next time you're up to bat. And in Jose Bautista's case, he managed to not only break the rules once, but twice, against the same team. See, in 2015, Jose had just come off of a couple rocky seasons with the Blue Jays, after his dominant 2010 and 2011 seasons, and Jose's eyes were set on making it to the playoffs. Putting in the work, Jose hit over 40 home runs that season, sending the Blue Jays into the playoffs for the first time in 22 years. And in Game 5 of the playoffs against the Texas Rangers, after hitting the game-winning home run for the Blue Jays, Jose proceeded to do the most iconic bat flips in baseball history. Now, the opposite team wasn't at all happy. I mean, besides the fact that they just got kicked out of the playoffs, they got hit with the most disrespectful bat flip the baseball world had ever seen. And this didn't go down well with anyone on the Rangers, especially the pitcher, who told Jose's teammate that he had to be more respectful of the game. And if you thought that was bad enough, Jose proceeded to disrespect them again a year later, sliding straight into second baseman Rougned Odor, who was trying to score a double play. With the humiliating loss to the Blue Jays still fresh, Rougned proceeded to punch Jose right in the jaw as revenge for his iconic bat flip, which caused the dugout to completely empty as both teams ran towards the fight. The fight resulted in 14 players getting fined and Rougned getting banned for the next 8 games. But obviously, the revenge wasn't enough, because players throughout the league have taken inspiration from Jose, doing their own bat flips. And if you thought this unwritten rule is disrespectful, at least Jose Bautista didn't directly disrespect the pitcher. Which is exactly what Alex Rodriguez did in a game against the Oakland Athletics, where he did something so disrespectful, it almost started a fight. After getting drafted by the Mariners and playing for multiple different teams throughout the league, Alex started to get a reputation as one of the most toxic and hated players in baseball. This man has more controversies than the entire TikTok platform combined. And some of his biggest controversies were when he would break baseball's unwritten rules. See, in the MLB, breaking unwritten rules is taken very seriously. If a pitcher or player is playing super well and it's getting towards the end of the game, it's best to not talk to or mess with that player, which is exactly what Alex did during the Athletics versus Yankees game. When after running from first to third base on a foul ball, Alex decided it would be a good idea to walk over to the pitcher's mound on his way back. And the Athletics pitcher, well, he didn't take too kindly to that. I mean, who would? You're in the middle of a game, fully concentrated on trying to strike out the batter in front of you, when all of a sudden, someone walks over to your mound, messing with the sand and distracting you. It's just plain disrespect. And the pitcher, he took it that way, attacking Alex after the inning and on social media, calling him out for trying to jinx him. But to be fair, Alex is known for being a bit of a controversial player and breaking unwritten rules, so we can't put it on him. And at least he didn't literally cheat in the MLB. Wait, no, he did. Steroids. But anyways, back in 2017, the Astros were so addicted to winning that they were willing to do anything to win, which meant breaking an unwritten rule just to do it. And they got caught stealing signs, and not only stealing signs, but cheating to steal those signs. I mean, if you're going to cheat, at least don't get caught, because that's exactly what the Astros did back in 2017 and 2018 seasons. See, the Astros realized that if they just put a camera in the center field seats, they could see the catcher's signals and relay them to the batters. And the way they did it was kind of hilarious. They literally banged trash cans as a way to tell their batters a changeup pitch was coming. And it worked. The Astros managed to get away with this for a couple seasons until one day an opposing pitcher realized what was going on. Every time he would swing up his pitch, he noticed there would be a weird banging noise coming from the Astros dugout. And the reason the Red Sox pitcher noticed this coincidence was because he was subscribed to our YouTube channel, Shortstop. And if you don't subscribe, you will never be able to uncover a multi-million-dollar baseball scheme. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe. Anyways, after seeing this happen 4 different times, the pitcher told the Oakland Athletics, who reported it to the MLB. And in 2019, after finishing its investigations, the MLB slapped the Astros with a $5 million fine and a couple 1-year suspensions. If you thought this was bad, one player actually died because of an unwritten rule. Back in the old days, before the creation of unwritten rules, baseball had a problem so big that it was taking the lives of dozens of professional players. See, nowadays, it's an obvious fact that if a pitcher is going to hit someone, that they can't aim for the head. But back in the 1900s, this unwritten rule wasn't an unwritten rule yet. Sure, it was stupid to throw a ball going around 100 miles an hour at someone's head, but if that man had just disrespected you, there was no one stopping you from doing it. So in August of 1920, during a Yankees versus Indians game, something crazy happened that would shock the baseball world forever. Ray Chapman, an Indian shortstop who had been playing in the league for over 10 years, was killed after getting hit in the head with a pitch from a Yankees pitcher, Carl Mays. Ray was in the peak of his career, having led the Indians in bases stolen for 4 consecutive years, while also leading the league in assists. And in the 1920 season, the Indians and Yankees were neck and neck for the division title, and the game they were playing would be a major deciding factor for winning the conference title. Now, I'm not saying that the Yankees purposely tried to kill him, but it does seem awfully suspicious, no? Anyways, after getting hit in the head with the ball, Ray was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead only a couple hours later. Ray's death would cause one of the biggest protests in MLB history, causing the MLB to add multiple monumental rules, such as adding helmets to the league 30 years later, and after his death, pitchers started to aim below the chest, which quickly became an unwritten rule. Now, when it comes to unwritten rules, no one is quicker to break these rules than our man Alex Rodriguez himself. Besides being one of the most hated players in the sport, Alex quickly became hated inside the MLB itself for constantly breaking unwritten rules. But the most disrespectful rule break was when Alex purposefully distracted the Blue Jays outfielder. See, while the Yankees were playing the Blue Jays in 2007, Alex's teammate had just hit a ball right down the field. And as Alex was running to third base, he shouted right before the outfielder caught the ball, resulting in the outfielder dropping the ball and the Yankees scoring. And man, that did not go well with the Blue Jays at all. I mean, put yourself in their shoes. You're down 7-5, and someone on the opposite team purposefully distracts your teammate, causing them to drop the ball. If I was there, I would have started the whole dang fight and purposefully throw my helmet 90 degrees to the right. But sadly, I can't play baseball to save my life, which is why I'm here making these videos. Anyways, A-Rod caused quite a stir, with players all throughout the league taking different sides. On one side, it kinda is an unwritten rule, but on the other, if the defense can make fake throws and mislead the runners, why can't the offense do it too? So after Alex's controversial play, the MLB basically came to the conclusion that distracting someone trying to make a catch by yelling was kinda disrespectful, and so it became just another random unwritten rule in baseball. And when it comes to weirdly random rules in baseball, there's literally a rule saying you'll get fined like crazy for catching a ball with your hat. And another weird rule is that outfielders don't need to catch fly balls. They can literally just let it fall to the ground. If that sounds interesting, go check out this video right here, the weirdest rules in the MLB. So what are you doing? Go watch that video.